Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was kidnapped by female Itachi, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. When Uzumaki Naruto was 15 years old, Uchiha Itachi tracked him to a border town, waited for Jiraiya to wander off, captured Naruto and slipped away with him. It was easy, Jiraiya was too confident in his own abilities, and their anonymity, and Naruto was weak against. Itachi had planned thoroughly, and acted carefully. By the time Jiraiya discovered Naruto gone, Itachi was most of the way back to Ain. Kisame joined Itachi when they crossed the border into Ain, and guarded them the rest of the way. Naruto woke in a luxurious room with a seal cuff on his wrist that cut him off from his chakra, but no other restraints. A moment later, he discovered why. Itachi was leaning against a wall, in a patch of shadow. "Itachi!" Naruto yelped. "What the hell is going on?" "Naruto-kun." Itachi stepped out of his shadows, and knelt at the side of the bed. "You are in a massacre, where the leader of Akatsuki rules. So, what? Do you want Kyuubi? I'll fight you." "Not precisely," Itachi said. "The situation with Akatsuki is more complicated than you, perhaps, realize. And at the moment, you would be fighting without chakra. Will you do me the courtesy of listening to me? We have an offer for you. You're a murderer. Why should I listen to anything you have to say? What else are you going to do right now? What harm does it do to listen to what I have to say?" Naruto folded his arms, and scowled. "Fine. But I'm still on Sasuke's side. Your loyalty to my little brother is commendable, if perhaps foolish. First, there are two leaders of Akatsuki, the public one, and the hidden one. The hidden leader is Uchiha Madara, who wants to gather all the tailed beasts, and use them to rule the world. We cooperate with him to a point, but the public leader is working to neutralize him. Most of us follow him, not Madara. Leader is trying to create peace. Originally, he intended to do so by showing the world how horrifying war is, what pain it causes. He has rethought that plan, and is trying to explore other options. Jinchuriki can cause a great deal of damage, especially mistreated ones. Think of your friend Sabaku no Gar. So the leader has been investigating. He chose to offer you a place, and a home here. I'll never betray Konoha." Naruto snapped. "We ask that you give us a month, Naruto-kun. Give us a month to show you what we are doing, to learn our reasons. You would be respected, and treated like a person here. If you give us your word not to attack anyone or try to escape, I will take that sealing bracelet off, and train you. You are permitted to go anywhere, so long as I am with you." "Why are you?" "If your leader is trying to make such a great impression, I'd think he'd choose anyone, but the person who massacred my best friend's family. Partially, it is because I am undergoing medical treatment right now, and cannot undertake any long-term missions, but mostly, it is to do you honor." "What do you mean?" "I am the second in command of Akatsuki, and one of our most powerful, Naruto-kun, and I am assigned directly to you for the duration of your time here. I will do most anything you ask of me while you stay here." Naruto was surprised, and stared down at Itachi, who still knelt beside the bed. Itachi didn't seem to be lying. Still, Itachi was a monster. "I'm guessing telling you to drag Sasuke back to Konoha, and let him kill you isn't included." Itachi actually laughed softly, and louder at the astonishment on Naruto's face. "No. No, will I let you go or take you back to Konoha to stay? And Konoha would not execute me anyway." "What the hell do you mean? You're up there with Orochimaru, as Konoha's most infamous missing nin. Because there is more to the story of the massacre than you know. They would not execute me, though they also would not tell the truth if they had a way out." Not particularly wishing to delve into the history of the massacre, Itachi changed the subject. "If you wish, we can retrieve my foolish little brother from Orochimaru while you stay here. He can wait out the month you stay with us, and you can decide whether or not to take him with you back to Konoha at the end of the month." "What happens at the end of the month?" "If you choose not to stay with us, you will be free to go. I will escort you back to Suna or Konoha myself, if that is your choice. We will be disappointed, but we will not keep you against your will longer than the month. Keep in mind, however, that we are able, and willing to offer you a great deal if you join us." Naruto looked away, trying to think. He'd been working for years to get Sasuke back. Now the last person he would have expected was offering a way to get Sasuke out of Orochimaru's hands. If Itachi was to be believed, all Naruto had to do was give them a month to try to recruit him. He could stand the Akatsuki for a month, if it meant getting Sasuke back. "If you are telling the truth, if you help me get Sasuke back, I will give you the month," he said. Was he betraying Konoha? If it meant getting Sasuke back, he wasn't sure he cared. "When can we go get Sasuke?" "Your word of honor first, Naruto-kun. You are not the type of person to break your word." "I give you my word of honor that I will not attempt to escape or attack anyone for 1 month, provided that you have told me the truth, that you help me get Sasuke back from Orochimaru, and that no one harms or attacks me outside of sparring." "Sasuke." Itachi smiled a little. Naruto did have an admirable degree of focus for things he really cared about. "First, I will train you for a week. Then we went to Odo." Reluctantly, Naruto agreed. Itachi said, If you permit, I will remove the chakra suppression bracelet. What do you mean, if I permit? Naruto demanded. I told you, Naruto-kun. For as long as you stay here with us, I am at your command, within the limitations set by the leader. But you're still calling me Naruto-kun. It was what Itachi had always called him. Would you prefer I call you Naruto-sama? Itachi asked, face expressionless. Hearing the title in Itachi's soft poisonous voice, Naruto made a face. No, that's too weird. For me, as well, Itachi agreed. Shall I remove the sealing bracelet? Eager to get access to his chakra back, and to test if Akatsuki was really going to follow through on the promises Itachi had made, Naruto held out his arm, and watched Itachi channel chakra into the bracelet. It separated, and fell to the bed in 2 pieces. Immediately, Naruto felt some of his energy coming back, as his access to chakra returned. I will bring you something to eat, Itachi said. After that, you should sleep. Tomorrow, you will meet the leader, and I will start training you. Itachi rose gracefully to his feet, and frowned down at Naruto. As I said, you will be permitted to go anywhere when I am with you. However, when I am not with you, you need to stay here with leader. Kisame is at the door to make sure you are safe, and to ensure you stay here. Naruto nodded. That made sense, he was a potential enemy, his word given or not. Alright, Itachi. He relaxed back against the pillows when Itachi left the room. Naruto had no intention of doing anything to jeopardize his chance of getting Sasuke back. Besides, the idea of training with someone as powerful and skilled as Itachi was incredibly tempting, even if Itachi was a monster. And Itachi was not acting like a monster. Naruto had gotten a lot more perceptive while with Jiraiya, learning to tap into instincts he'd gotten growing up alone and disliked by most of Konoha. He'd looked into Itachi's eyes, and he hadn't seen a monster who would slaughter his family to test his capacity. He'd seen a little real grief, though very well hidden, when Itachi talked about Sasuke. It was enough that Naruto was willing to believe there was more to the massacre. Itachi ate with Naruto, at Naruto's insistence, and left him to sleep, while Sasori replaced Kisame at Naruto's door. Itachi made sure Sasori understood that nothing, and no one was to harm Naruto, including Sasori. If Naruto tried to leave, Sasori would summon Itachi immediately. If it was necessary, Sasori would incapacitate Naruto without harming him. If Naruto asked for Itachi, Sasori would summon him immediately. Sasori tolerated the lecture with admirable patience. The next morning, Itachi arrived at Naruto's room with a tray of breakfast for 2, correctly expecting Naruto to insist that Itachi eat with him again. Naruto was already up, and had apparently found the clothes they'd bought for him, as he was dressed in clean clothes. Itachi was sure he was sulking about the lack of orange. After breakfast, Itachi escorted Naruto to the leader's office at the top of the tower. He bowed deeply to the leader, and took up a guard position by the door, while Naruto sat before the desk. Itachi was surprised to see that the leader was meeting Naruto with his real body, but kept his thoughts to himself. Welcome to Omegakure, Uzumaki Naruto, the leader said. My name is Uzumaki Nagato. We are cousins of a sort. We're family, Naruto asked softly. The thought of sharing blood, of having family, touched a part of him he thought was long healed, or at least scarred over. Naruto knew nothing about his family. Here was someone who claimed to be related to him. The Uzumaki clan has been nearly destroyed, Nagato said. We are some of the few members left. I do not know precisely how we are related, but blood tests could go some way to finding out. While you are here, if you like, I will take the time to teach you about our clan, and some of our techniques. I do not have the time to train you, as Itachi will, as I rule here, and lead Akatsuki, but I can make some time. Is the blood tie why you're offering me a place here? It is certainly part of the reason. Like you, I have had no blood family for years, and have made my own family. However, I have also offered you a place here because of your power, skill, and potential. All things that are not recognized by Konoha. Naruto stared at Nagato, at a complete loss for what to say. I have shocked you, Nagato said. Think about what I have told you. Itachi can bring you to me if you wish to speak to me or have questions. He turned to Itachi. Take good care of him, he ordered. Itachi bowed again. Yes, Leader Sama. He escorted Naruto from the leader's office, and down to the training course they would be using. First, I want to discuss something with you, Itachi said. Alright, Naruto said, and sat down on a rock. He frowned when Itachi knelt across from him. Honorifics or not, Itachi was acting so carefully, and respectful. It made Naruto uncomfortable. By the time I left Konoha, they both seemed content to ignore what left was a euphemism for, your skills in traps, evasion, tracking, and stealth were already at level. I don't believe you would have gotten worse after I left. You enjoyed pranking Anbu too much for that. Why do you never use those skills when you fight? Naruto frowned. He never thought to apply those skills to fighting. They were just for pranking, for fun. They're fighting skills, he said. I mean, it's not proper fighting. Of course they're fighting skills. The best way to win a battle isn't necessarily to throw punches and... Itachi frowned, considering the best way to explain. If you were fighting Orochimaru, you could not defeat him head-on. He is too powerful and has too much experience. But what if you let him into a trap? You could weaken him, perhaps kill him, without leaving yourself vulnerable to his techniques. Your cage bunshin technique is ideal for this sort of fighting style. You can have 100 clones setting up 100 traps. I remember one trap you got a member of my Anbu team with, a drop of glue and feathers. Imagine if you dropped poison or acid instead of glue and feathers. Naruto frowned. It doesn't seem like a very honorable way to fight. Do you remember your exam? What were you expected to do to answer the questions? Chief, Naruto said. How do you know that? I'm a master. I was there. I watched the whole exam. He watched, but hadn't been in time to interfere when Orochimaru attacked. Would you rather fight honorably and lose against an opponent like Orochimaru or play to your strengths and win? Itachi waited a second for Naruto to consider what Itachi had said. You are very good at tactical thinking, making plans on the spot, and coming up with the unexpected during a fight. That would work very well with trapping and evasion skills, as well as stealth. You can hide from Anbu. That means you can sneak up on very good ninjas and attack before they see you. Or trap spaces that they think are secure and sit back and watch. So they started working. For the first half of the morning, they spared, with Itachi pushing Naruto to use skills that he had put aside, as being improper for a real ninja when he made genin, but was very good at. With Itachi pushing him, he started figuring out how to turn those skills deadly. Or at least potentially deadly, since he didn't want to kill Itachi at the moment. For the second half of the morning, Itachi worked on more standard fighting skills with Naruto, starting with a focused, determined teacher who had no other students or distractions, Naruto made rapid progress. Every other afternoon, Nagato made time to spend 2 hours teaching Naruto clan techniques. He focused on seals at first, something Naruto had learned the basics of from Jiraiya, but Uzumaki's sealing was so much easier to understand. And it fits so well with the style of fighting Itachi was pushing Naruto to learn. Naruto found himself liking Nagato, almost against his will. The man had some odd ideas, but Naruto could agree with a lot of his basic ideology. Nagato treated Naruto like family, and was remarkably patient with him. The week passed very rapidly, and it was time to go to Odo. Nagato summoned them to his office before they left to reaffirm the mission, and bid them safe travels on their way. Finally, Naruto followed Itachi, and kissed him out of Aim's tower. They were dressed in Akatsuki garb. Naruto simply wore black, including a scarf to cover his hair, and a black mask to hide his face. If he was going to go back to Konoha at the end of the month, something that was harder to think about with how much he was starting to like Nagato, and even Itachi, he didn't want to be seen cooperating with 2S class missing nin. Itachi didn't bother with the mask or even the hat Akatsuki members sometimes use. He wanted to be recognized. After all, he had defeated Orochimaru before, no matter what the snake said, he was afraid of Itachi. With his and Kisam's reputations, people would stay out of their way, even in Odo. Naruto was pleased to notice that Itachi appeared to know exactly where they were going. They walked straight to gates into a cave system in the mountain. 2 sound nin were standing guard, and they were not happy to have 2 recognizable S-class nin at the gates, with a third person who Itachi and Kisame trusted at their backs. It meant he was almost certainly another S-class. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. You are not welcome here, one of the guards managed. Itachi looked at both guards with burning Sharingan eyes. They weren't even smart enough to avoid meeting his gaze. Given that there was a Sharingan user living in Odo, they certainly ought to know better. Itachi was not impressed. Inform Orochimaru that we are here. He has 1 hour to hand over my brother. If he does not, we will retrieve Sasuke ourselves. Naruto stared in amazement. This was not what he'd expected when Itachi had agreed to get Sasuke away from Orochimaru. Just giving an ultimatum and expecting to be obeyed. It emphasized just how powerful Itachi was. And even though Kisame was there, and deadly, and much more obviously threatening, Itachi was the one people with sense were more afraid of. The guards exchanged looks before one of them bolted through the gate. She sent several more guards back to reinforce her partner, and headed for Orochimaru at a dead run. She found him training Sasuke, and burst in on them. Uchiha Itachi is here, she gasped, dropping to her knees. Orochimaru-sama, Uchiha Itachi, Hoshigaki Kisame, and a masked person are at the gates, she said when she caught her breath. Is Itachi here? Sasuke demanded. He started for the gate immediately, but Orochimaru grabbed him. What does Akatsuki want at my gates? Orochimaru asked his guard. Wait, he told Sasuke. Hear what she has to say. He wants Sasuke-sama, she said. He said you have an hour to hand his brother over. If you don't, he will come in and retrieve Sasuke-sama personally. Orochimaru suppressed a wince. Even with all his followers, the numbers and quality of which had not recovered from the invasion of Konoha, he doubted he could stop Itachi from taking what he wanted. Itachi wouldn't have gotten any weaker since he defeated Orochimaru. Let me go, Sasuke demanded. I'm going to kill him. Reluctantly, Orochimaru complied, though he sincerely doubted Sasuke would be killing Itachi anytime soon. If Sasuke went charging out the gate, Orochimaru wouldn't have to fight anyone. He'd either have to figure out a way to retrieve Sasuke or pick a new body. He followed at a slower pace, but still got to the gate in time to see Itachi catch Sasuke in a, seemingly without effort. So disappointed, Orochimaru murmured. He was smart enough to keep his eyes away from Itachi entirely. Even that wouldn't be enough to keep him out of it if Itachi wanted him in one, but it would help and limit the techniques Itachi could use. Your teaching lacks something, Itachi said to Orochimaru. Orochimaru ignored the criticism with all the dignity he could summon. His student had, after all, just fallen to his sleep, with Sharingan active. This was not the sign of a brilliant student. Granted, Itachi had been weaving the illusion, and was widely acknowledged as a master with or without the Sharingan, but still. What causes your sudden interest? Orochimaru asked. Last I heard, you still thought he was too foolish and weak to be bothered with. I have discovered a use for him, Itachi said. Do you intend to fight me? Orochimaru could feel Itachi's chakra seeping through the air. Of course, he was no rank genin to be intimidated by such tricks, but it was a reminder that the boy, barely 20, and built pretty rather than strong or handsome, was a real threat. Not at the moment, he said, and returned back to his base to torture someone for the loss of his latest project. If Itachi had a use for Sasuke, Orochimaru wouldn't be getting Sasuke back soon. Perhaps not at all. They were over the border, and into Nagato's country when they stopped to camp for the night. Kisame set Sasuke against a tree, and passed the scroll to Itachi, who unsealed 2 bracelets, and a collar that looked very familiar to Naruto. Though more complex than the bracelet he'd been wearing the first day he woke up in AIM. What are you doing? Naruto asked. We will accept your word because you are well known for keeping it. My little brother is not so trustworthy, even if he would give his word. I do not feel like fighting with him all the way back to Omegakure. Or leaving him in a constant situation. Itachi clasped the bracelets on each of Sasuke's wrists, and leaned forward to place the collar around Sasuke's neck. With the seals placed and active, Itachi searched Sasuke for weapons, and took everything he found, his hands surprisingly gentle for someone Naruto knew had tortured Sasuke on at least 2 occasions. There was another inconsistency between Itachi's reputation and what Naruto had seen since coming to AIM. Itachi was even careful to leave Sasuke in a fairly comfortable position against the tree before he joined Kisame in making supper. Naruto did what Itachi permitted to help, but mostly kept an eye on Sasuke. When supper was ready, Itachi returned to Sasuke. Wake up, little brother. Sasuke jolted awake, already furious, and tried to activate his Sharingan before he even took in his surroundings. Then he yelped and clutched at his eyes, as they burned. I wouldn't recommend trying to use your Sharingan, Itachi said. I've sealed your chakra, and trying to use Sharingan with sealed chakra is painful. Repeated attempts may do damage to your eyes. His words were partly directed to Naruto, knowing Naruto would be worried. I am going to kill you, Itachi, Sasuke managed. I don't think so, Itachi said softly. At least not for another 3.5 weeks. Sasuke's eyes had stopped burning enough for him to open them, and glare at Itachi. What are you talking about? He demanded. I do not think you will be able to kill me without chakra or your bloodline, Itachi said. And I have no intention of unsealing you until the agreed time period is over. No harm will come to you while you are in our care unless you attack us. That doesn't mean we will make it easy for you to attack us. What agreed upon time period? What do you want with me? Akatsuki has a contract. We retrieve you from Orochimaru, hold on to you for the designated time period, and hand you over to our client at the end of it. What? So Konoha has making deals with Akatsuki, and one of their most notorious missing nin now. I didn't think even Naruto could be that stupid. Movement across the clearing drew Sasuke's eyes to the one figure he couldn't identify in time to see Naruto remove the black mask. They made an offer I didn't want to refuse, Naruto said. Sasuke stared at Naruto in stunned disbelief. He'd been trying to provoke a fight, not being serious. He had never expected to see Naruto traveling, to all appearances willingly, with 2 Akatsuki members, particularly not the 2 that had tried to abduct him. Sasuke could see that Naruto was armed, and appeared to have full access to his chakra. Sasuke turned his glare back on Itachi, who was frowning at him with Sharingan eyes. Don't provoke him, Itachi, Naruto said quietly. Sasuke scowled, trying to hide his astonishment, as his older brother bowed his head to Naruto without a word of protest. The astonishment grew, as Sasuke watched Itachi quietly tend to Naruto's needs, and watched Naruto's back. Itachi's behavior went beyond a dutiful ninja's care of his client, and Sasuke didn't understand it. Still, he had no intention of asking while Itachi was standing there. Sasuke was not as successful at hiding what he was thinking and feeling, as he thought, at least not from Itachi. He kept an eye on his brother since they'd made camp, whatever else he was doing, and he'd never lost the ability to understand Sasuke. Sasuke's astonishment left Itachi amused, though the amusement was tainted, just like all emotions between the brothers seemed to be since the massacre. When Sasuke refused the plate of supper Itachi brought him, Naruto scowled at him. Don't be an idiot, Sasuke. He doesn't need to drug or poison you. He didn't need to massacre my family, either, so forgive me if I think that what he needs to do doesn't necessarily have much to do with what he will do. Yes, I did, Itachi said. What? Yes, I did have to kill our family. Itachi leaned forward and sampled everything he put on Sasuke's plate. There's nothing in your food, so eat. Sullenly, Sasuke obeyed. He was not going to ask what Itachi had meant, not again. Besides, he wasn't sure there was any explanation Itachi could give that Sasuke would believe. Itachi was too good a liar. He glared at the plate and did his best to ignore everyone, including Naruto. After they ate, Naruto started to lay out his bedroll next to Sasuke when Itachi protested. Kisame will sleep next to Sasuke. You'll sleep next to me. Why? I can be sure I will not attack you during the night. I cannot be sure of that with my brother. But he's my best friend. Sasuke's eyes narrowed at the fact that Naruto didn't argue about being safe with Itachi. He had a lot of questions about what was going on between his best friend and Akatsuki. He has tried to kill you before, Naruto-kun. I am responsible for your safety. Naruto sighed. That put the issue outside the limitations of Itachi's obedience, as set by Nagato, so Naruto wouldn't even try giving orders to get his way. It wouldn't work. Fine. He's not going to kill me while you're watching, so give us a minute to talk with you on the other side of the clearing. Itachi hesitated, not liking to leave Naruto with someone who had tried to kill him, even if that someone was Itachi's younger brother, but he eventually obeyed. Sasuke was without chakra or weapons, leaving him with Taijutsu. Naruto could probably defeat him without assistance. Even if Naruto couldn't, Sasuke wouldn't be able to kill Naruto before Itachi could get to them and interfere. No one is going to hurt you, Naruto told Sasuke. That includes Itachi. I made a contract with them to retrieve you from Orochimaru. If they hurt you, unless you have attacked them or tried to do something they've forbidden, they'll lose their contract with me. And what do they want from you so badly that it guarantees my safety? Don't tell me you agreed to let them extract the demon in exchange for kidnapping me. No, they don't want Kyuubi. Naruto wasn't surprised that Sasuke knew, though he was worried about what Sasuke thought about his status. But that wasn't what they were talking about. They're attempting to recruit me. They wanted me to give them a month-long trial, and Itachi offered to retrieve you if I agreed. So that's why Itachi is catering to you. That's why he's so determined to protect you, even from me. Naruto nodded. Their leader assigned Itachi to me for the duration of the month. He acts as escort and guard, and is also responsible for making sure I have everything I need. Naruto didn't mention that Itachi had been training him, not wanting to get into that potential argument that night. There would be time later. Sasuke shook his head. Go away, dope. Fine, bastard. I just wanted you to know it's safe for you to sleep. That might be, but Sasuke wasn't as trusting as Naruto. He didn't think he'd sleep that night unless Itachi put another on him to make him. Sasuke got more proof of how well Naruto and Akatsuki were cooperating when Naruto took one watch that night, while Itachi and Kisame took the other two. They were supposed to be enemies, but the two Akatsuki were trusting Naruto to guard them. Naruto might be a trusting idiot, but Itachi and Kisame weren't. They couldn't be, they'd both been missing Nin for years, meaning they'd had to deal with hunters. When they reached the tower, Kisame went to meet with Nagato, and Itachi started to drag Sasuke away. Sasuke was cooperating just enough to avoid provoking Itachi into casting another, which Itachi knew perfectly well, though he didn't comment. Where are you taking him? Naruto asked. To a room where I can lock him in. It wouldn't be a cell, he added at Naruto's dismayed expression. Even with his chakra sealed, we cannot trust him not to try to escape or attack. That means he needs to be confined. Can't you confine him in my room, then? Naruto asked. Itachi hesitated, considering the request. Naruto's rooms were set up to hold someone already, in case Naruto hadn't immediately agreed to Akatsuki's offer. If he stays, so do I, he said. I know you would rather trust him than me, but the leader charged me with your safety. Your choice. Naruto shrugged. You've had plenty of chances to hurt me while I sleep. Do I get a say in this? Sasuke demanded. No, you do not, Itachi said. Let's go. Sasuke farted. I don't want to share a room with you. He snapped. Tell me, little brother. Since you are convinced I am an insane murderer, why do you think I care what you want? You are an insane murderer. Itachi hid a wince, and was surprised that Naruto caught it. He wasn't used to anyone being able to read him, and Naruto barely knew him. That is, as may be, but if you don't start walking, I'll put you back to sleep, and carry you. Itachi's soft poisonous voice didn't change to reflect his exasperation with his brother's stubbornness, but again, Naruto seemed able to identify what Itachi felt. Come on, bastard, Naruto said. He isn't going to hurt you. He talked to Itachi later about actually telling Sasuke the real story of the massacre. Naruto didn't know it, but he'd seen enough in the last week to believe Itachi had had a reason, probably a very good one. Sasuke transferred his glare from Itachi to Naruto, but started walking. He was starting to believe that Itachi wouldn't hurt him, as long as the Akatsuki had something they wanted from Naruto, but that didn't mean he wanted to be anywhere near his older brother. In Naruto's rooms, Itachi activated seals around the door and windows and took out another seal bracelet. "Either you let me put this on you or I'll use it on you and put it on you while you're unconscious," he told Sasuke. "What does it do?" "It interacts with the seals around the door and windows to create barriers that will keep you from leaving the suite. That way Naruto and I can come and go as needed without worrying that you'll escape." Sasuke sighed and held out his arm. He did not want to give Itachi excuses to use illusions on him. He had nightmares about what Itachi had shown him already. He didn't need a refresher course. "I'll get someone to bring in 2 Futons," Itachi said. "Naruto-kun, please come with me. Leader will want to see you." And Itachi wasn't leaving Naruto alone with Sasuke. Besides, Itachi was sure Naruto wanted to talk to him without Sasuke listening, so this would give them a chance. "Need anything, Sasuke?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, get these off me and let me go." He tugged furiously at the collar. "Bastard," Naruto muttered, and followed Itachi from the room without another word. They checked in with Nagato, Naruto happy to see his cousin again, but didn't stay long. Nagato was busy with his paperwork, and said he'd catch up with Naruto when they had clan lessons the next afternoon. Itachi started to escort Naruto from the room, but Nagato called them back. "Itachi, it's time. We have offered our proof of good intentions. Tell him, and show him what you found." "Yes, Leader-sama," Itachi said. Naruto frowned at Itachi, as they walked down from Nagato's office. "Tell me what?" "Later, please, Naruto-kun. I need to make arrangements for my brother and me to stay in your rooms. Also, I believe there was something you wished to discuss with me." He opened the door to his own suite of rooms and invited Naruto inside. He walked over to his drawers and started to pull out the clothing he'd bought for Sasuke before they left for Odo. "You really love him, don't you?" Naruto asked. All the shirts had the Uchiha symbol on them, just like the clothes Sasuke had worn in Konoha. The styles also matched, with slight alterations for an older teen. It was rather telling that Itachi had kept a closer eye on Sasuke than most had realized. "He is my little brother," Itachi said. "I may think him a fool, but I still love him." "Were you supposed to kill him, as well?" Itachi looked sharply at Naruto. "You're smarter than anyone realizes." He'd realized that, better than most people in Konoha, but he was still surprised Naruto was putting together the pieces of the massacre. "I begged for his life, and was permitted to leave him alive." Sandaime always did have a soft spot for children. "Yes, he did. If you know everything else, do you know why they gave me the order?" Naruto studied Itachi, considering what he would have been like at 13. "To stop a war." Itachi bowed his head over the clothes, the Sharingan fading from his eyes for a moment, as he remembered. He would never have the ability to forget what he'd done that night. His Sharingan made sure the massacre was burned into his memory. Was it worth it? Yes. His hands were still steady, as he gathered some of his own things. He had years to come to terms with what he'd done, years to accept that there was no redemption for him. To stop a 4th war, it was more than worth it. "I'd do it again." Doing it again would probably destroy him completely, but he would do it. "Maybe don't tell Sasuke that part when you tell him the rest." "Am I telling him the rest, Naruto-kun?" Again, Itachi's voice didn't change, but Naruto could see amusement in Itachi's dark eyes before he blinked, and they went back to red. "That is, obviously, up to you," Naruto said. "I had thought you intended to, since you told him you had to kill them. You don't do much of anything without a reason. You can command me to tell him, Naruto-kun. That is not outside the limitations of the leader set, so I will obey." Itachi wanted that explicit between them. In truth, very little was outside those limitations. Itachi didn't think Naruto realized how much power he held. Knew Naruto didn't realize the exact nature of Itachi's assignment. Naruto assumed, and had told Sasuke, that Itachi's assignment would be over at the end of the month, whatever Naruto decided. He was wrong. Itachi had told Naruto several times that he would be at Naruto's command, for as long as Naruto stayed in aim. Naruto had probably missed that distinction, assuming he would be going back to Konoha at month's end. If Naruto did decide to return to Konoha, Itachi wasn't sure what would happen. He doubted the leader would give up on his powerful cousin so easily. Itachi thought the leader might well send someone to Konoha to guard Naruto from the shadows, especially with Madara still after the Kyuubi in particular. That guard might not be Itachi, for all that his skill with and familiarity with Konoha made him an ideal choice. He was still leader's second in command. Putting him at Naruto's command while they were both in aim was one thing, especially while Itachi needed medical treatment. The assignment was an ideal way for leader to make sure Itachi stayed in aim enough for the medic nin to treat him, though Itachi thought he would have been leader's choice anyway. Sending him to Konoha was a great deal more complicated, which would mean the leader would need another second for a while, even if Itachi retained the position officially. Konan could do it, as she had before, but she was much happier, as the Angel of Aim, Pain's second in ruling the village, than as a member of Akatsuki. However, discussing all the details with Naruto would delay them for quite some time, so Itachi didn't elaborate past the reminder that he would obey. "It's up to you." Yeah, I think you should tell him that he needs to know, but I'm not going to order you if you don't want to. Naruto, Konoha's pariah, and still a genin, wasn't that comfortable giving orders to Itachi, who may have murdered his clan, but still acted with the grace of a clan heir in a way Sasuke never had, and who was or had been a much higher ranked ninja, as well. The second in command of Akatsuki, answering to Naruto, of all people. For all Itachi's apparent acceptance, Naruto couldn't imagine the older man was happy about it. Itachi nodded, smiling very slightly. Naruto's thoughts were all too clear on his face, and Itachi would have to reassure him at some point. Not now. As it happens, I agree with you. He drew out 2 scroll cases, and tucked them into a pocket inside his cloak. With them tucked safely out of sight, he summoned one of the tower's servants, and issued a list of orders. It will be done, Itachi-sama, the man said, and left quickly. With your permission, we should go back now, Itachi said to Naruto. I do not want servants with Sasuke without someone to supervise. You really don't trust him. He has made some spectacularly bad decisions. I realize what I did damaged him, but he had an entire village to help him recover, including mind healers. My actions do not excuse what he did. Naruto had a hard time arguing with that, even though he continued to consider Sasuke his best friend. He hoped Sasuke would listen to Itachi, that somehow they could all start to heal. If they could, any bargain Naruto made with Akatsuki would be worth it. Itachi opened the door to Naruto's suite and stepped inside, unsurprised to have to intercept a punch from Sasuke, who had apparently been waiting at the door for their return. Itachi could have ended things immediately by activating some of the seals on the collar and cuffs Sasuke was wearing, but it took him a little more time to use Taijutsu to bring Sasuke to his knees. Calm down, he ordered. You cannot expect to defeat me like this. Try not to hurt him, Naruto said. As you command, Itachi said quietly, helping to make it clear to Sasuke that he was taking Naruto's orders before he started explaining the massacre. He glanced down at his brother. That will be harder to do if you keep fighting me, he added. Naruto. Sasuke snapped. Help me. He's a murderer. He betrayed Konoha. You shouldn't be cooperating with him. You don't have a great deal of room to talk about betrayal, Naruto said. And Itachi had reasons for what he did. If you calm down, he might just tell you. Sasuke froze for a moment, but it didn't last long. Rage twisting his face, he actually managed to fight his way out of Itachi's grip, enough to get to his feet, and land a blow on Itachi's shoulder, though not a particularly powerful one. It was enough to make Itachi stop relying solely on Taijutsu, and his Sharingan spun, as he wove around his younger brother. Sasuke fell into Itachi's arms, unconscious, seconds later. Itachi left Sasuke unconscious until the servant had finished in Naruto's rooms, and left again. When the 3 of them were alone again, Itachi hooked chains to the cuffs on Sasuke's wrists, and bound him to a heavy chair before waking him from the. You are going to stay right there, and listen to what I have to say to you. If necessary, I will gag you so you have to listen to me. Did the dobe order you to tell me? Itachi shook his head. No. He could have. You have gathered that I am obeying his orders, but he refused to order me to tell you about the massacre. I am telling you because I choose to. To be honest, I don't particularly want to tell you, but you obviously need to know. You will listen, and you will look at the evidence I can provide that I am telling the truth. I relieved Konoha of that evidence, so you will look at it. The mission orders, and reports about the coup the Uchiha clan had been planning, and the massacre he'd committed, weren't the only things Itachi had taken from Konoha's files, but he'd known he would need them to convince Sasuke. Just like he'd known Sasuke was one of the keys to gaining Naruto's loyalty. For the sake of a leader he was coming to trust, a child he respected, and the idiotic brother he nevertheless loved, as well as for the peace he had craved since infancy. He was willing to restructure the plans he had made around the massacre. I don't care what you have to say, Sasuke snapped. Since you don't want to tell me, and haven't been ordered to do it, just don't. Obviously, you're going to keep me here until whatever bargain you have with the dope expires, and what you have to tell me won't change that. There's no excuse for what you did. Perhaps not, Itachi said calmly. You do not have to forgive me. However, I was acting under orders. He opened a folder, and tossed the mission orders into Sasuke's lap. The council ordered the death of our clan. I was supposed to kill you, too. Slowly, Sasuke started to read over the mission orders. The orders included the reason, and references to Itachi's actions, as a spy in the clan. This isn't possible, he said helplessly, trying to bury his face in his hands, but coming up short against the chains. It is the truth, Sasuke. I did not handle everything perfectly, but I will not apologize. My first priority was to make sure you would be safe in Konoha without me there to protect you on a daily basis. Itachi passed over the rest of that folder. Look through everything. If you have questions, I will probably answer them. In the meantime, he would go over the rest with Naruto. Itachi turned away from his brother, not wanting to face Sasuke's confusion and grief, and moved to kneel beside Naruto with the other folder in his hand. My turn, then? Naruto asked. Is it going to be as unpleasant for me as for Sasuke? Possibly, Itachi admitted. You are an idealist with a great deal of faith in Konoha. This is going to break some of that idealism and faith if you believe me, just as the revelations for Sasuke broke some of his faith in our family. What did Konoha do to Naruto? Sasuke demanded. How much farther can that village sink? He put aside the folder of truth about the Uchiha clan and the massacre and listened carefully while Itachi explained Naruto's buried heritage and stolen dreams. No higher than a genin? Naruto asked softly. Ever. Even that was a concession, Itachi told him. In order to deny Danzo the right to craft Naruto into a weapon, Sarutobi had to make concessions to those who wanted Naruto weak. They never wanted you to become too strong, so they made sure your instruction was sabotaged. They kept your name and heritage from you, so you would remain a no-name orphan with no power in Konoha. They kept your family's scrolls and inheritance from you. Itachi smiled a little. I took the liberty of removing those from Konoha's custody while I was gathering the files. I'll hand them over later, when this has sunken a little. Itachi glanced at Sasuke. You were under similar restrictions, though for different reasons. They did not want to risk losing their last Uchiha, at least the last one in Konoha, on higher level missions. They did want you taught though, so you'd be as well protected as possible, and so you'd stay loyal. Sasuke snorted. They lost me to Orochimaru anyway. I hate that village. Naruto wanted to protest, but with the evidence of what Konoha had done to them staring him in the face, he found it much harder to defend the village, as he usually would have. You'll never go back, will you? He asked Sasuke. Even now you don't have so much reason to hunt Itachi. It's just given you more reasons to stay away or to destroy Konoha. I wouldn't go back, Sasuke agreed. He can't go back, Itachi corrected. He pulled out one more order, and showed it to both boys. If he's caught within Hai no Kuni, even if he's returning to Konoha of his own free will, he's dead. They'll harvest his DNA for a new generation of Sharingan users, and execute him. That isn't what Tsunade told me. Naruto protested, but none of the rest of it was what he'd been told, either. To be fair to Tsunade-sama, it is not her order, Itachi said. She may genuinely believe she can talk the council into a different course of action, once you bring Sasuke home. But you don't think so, Naruto said. I have had enough dealings with the council to be sure she will not succeed. After all, that council has entirely too much experience with traitorous Uchiha to give Sasuke a second chance. Actually, they would view it as a third chance, believing that their mercy at the time of the massacre, leaving him alive at my request, was Sasuke's second chance. Sasuke stared at his brother, and noticed for the first time that Itachi was on his knees beside Naruto. There were times when Sasuke had wanted Itachi on his knees, begging for forgiveness, more than Sasuke wanted Itachi dead. Of course, Itachi wasn't begging for forgiveness, and he wasn't on his knees at Sasuke's feet. Still, the sight was unnerving. Itachi, the perfect prodigy, and perfect killer, on his knees to Sasuke's idiotic teammate. Sasuke? Naruto asked. What, dope? Itachi watched with amusement, as the insult successfully distracted both boys from more serious topics. After the third time Sasuke tried to get up to get in Naruto's face, only to get caught up short by the chains binding him to the chair, he turned on Itachi. Will you let me up? You're done talking unpleasantness, and you've still got the seals on me, so I'm not going anywhere. Itachi raised an eyebrow. Are you going to attack me again? Not at the moment, Sasuke said curtly. And what do you care about? You didn't have any trouble. Itachi ignored that. Naruto-kun. Go ahead. Naruto waved a hand. He wasn't comfortable leaving his best friend chained in what was still, for Sasuke at least, enemy territory. Naruto wasn't sure what to do with Sasuke now, since he couldn't haul Sasuke back to Konoha, as he planned and promised, but he did know he wanted their friendship back. It meant he'd give Sasuke what freedom he could. After, I want to go for a walk, he added, wanting to get away from those folders. Itachi nodded. Of course. He rose, and walked over to Sasuke, graceful, as ever, and frowned when Sasuke flinched away. Hold still. He removed the chains, but left the seal bracelets and collar alone. I am not going to hurt you, little brother. I have no reason to. Reluctantly, Sasuke nodded. The walk inevitably took Naruto and Itachi to a training ground, where Naruto took out his rage and confusion on targets for a while. When that wasn't sufficient, he and Itachi started sparring. Itachi was good enough that Naruto did not have to hold back, so the fight helped. Itachi avoided expending power, not having the stamina Naruto did, so the fight could drag out until Naruto was exhausted. They took dinner for 3 back to Naruto's rooms, and the meal was nearly silent. Both boys were dealing with the unpleasant revelations, and Itachi was content to observe them. Every interaction with Sasuke was strained, and Itachi didn't want to push Naruto, and risk the chances that Naruto would stay past the end of the month. Though he was exhausted after the sparring session, Naruto couldn't sleep that night. He tossed and turned until Sasuke got fed up and sat up on his feet and across the room. If you're going to keep me awake anyway, get over here and talk to me about it, he ordered. He couldn't go to Naruto because Itachi had chained one of his wrists to the wall. Sasuke, exhausted and still in shock from what he'd learned that day, hadn't bothered to fight his brother. Against his will, he could understand Itachi's concerns for Naruto. Naruto sighed, too tired to fight with Sasuke. He got to his feet and walked over to sit down on Sasuke's futon. He was careful of Sasuke's chained wrist. "What are you thinking?" Sasuke asked. "That I trusted Konoha, trusted Tsunade. I shouldn't have. Tsunade never told me any of this. And maybe Itachi's right, she didn't tell me because she genuinely believes she can change things. That doesn't mean I don't feel betrayed. But I made promises." "Do you need to hold to promises to people who haven't kept their promises to you?" Sasuke asked. He shifted around to sit cross-legged and face Naruto, ignoring the way that pulled his arm at an awkward angle to keep his wrist within a few inches of the wall. "I don't know," Naruto admitted. "I don't want to become a missing nin, but I'm not sure I could give Konoha my best after learning all this. Since you're still a genin, that's hardly a problem. You can retire. Once you've turned in your 8, they can't declare you a missing nin when you leave. Since they clearly didn't want you as a ninja to begin with, I doubt they'll have any problem accepting your resignation. If it's that simple, why didn't you do it?" "Several reasons. I was in a hurry after the Sound 4 found me and made their offer. I was also under careful surveillance after the exams. If I'd tried to resign, that surveillance would have increased beyond what I could have easily escaped. I was their last Uchiha and last chance for the Sharingan bloodline. They'd never have let me go willingly. Besides, I didn't care about being declared a missing nin. I didn't intend to go back." That, Naruto could easily believe. Still, "I promised Sakura I'd bring you back to her." Sasuke turned and glared across the dark room. "Instead of pretending to be asleep, why don't you do something useful and make tea?" he demanded. "Nai-san." The familial title was sharp. Though he didn't comment, Itachi got to his feet. He felt no need to obey his brother in general, but he had been wondering what to do for Naruto before Sasuke spoke up. After unsealing tea things from a scroll, he used it to heat the water and set the tea to brew, ignoring Sasuke's derisive snort. "Don't criticize your brother for something I've seen you do." Sasuke ignored that. "Show Sakura the execution order. She'll let you out of that promise. If you speak to her while we are still holding Sasuke, you can also offer to bring her to Sasuke instead," Itachi added, bringing the tray of tea over to the futon and ignoring Sasuke's scowl. "It would mean the girl might learn you have dealings with Akatsuki, or at least with me, but it is an option." Itachi's appearance in Odo and retrieval of his younger brother, not to mention the method Itachi had used to get Sasuke out of Orochimaru's hands, would be spreading through the elemental nations. Kisame, who disliked Orochimaru intensely, was out making sure the story spread far and wide for the sake of humiliating Orochimaru. Naruto nodded and drank his tea when Itachi passed it over. Sasuke had been surprised when Itachi passed over a cup for him, as well, but they both were content not to comment. Naruto was calmer when the tea was gone, but he wasn't calm enough to sleep. Instead, he went off to take a shower, not even remembering to make sure the brothers wouldn't fight while he was gone. "I never thought Naruto would willingly consider leaving Konoha," Sasuke admitted. He scowled at his brother. "I am not a trusting idiot like he is. Is he really going to be safe with Akatsuki?" He was actually fairly cautious. And in his defense, he didn't have a lot to lose, we already had him. "Your work?" "Of course. Successfully kidnapping my best friend is not something you should be bragging to me about." "You're the one who tried to kill him," Itachi said coolly. "Since you have Mangekyou Sharingan, you don't have much room to criticize me. What happened with Shisui was between the two of us, and not your business." Itachi took Sasuke's empty cup. "More tea." "You're implying Shisui was complicit in his own murder." "I am not implying anything. I am saying it is none of your business. I am the killer, a Tauro. I don't deny that. But Naruto has nothing to fear from me, whether or not he stays in AIM. And what happens to you if he decides to stay? Going to have a permanent demotion from Akatsuki elite to personal servant and bodyguard. You're not going to humiliate or hurt me by tossing that in my face," Itachi said calmly, and met Sasuke's eyes with Sharingan on his own. "I will remain the second in command of Akatsuki, as I am now. If Naruto chooses to stay here, I will also remain at his command. His servant, if that is how you would prefer to see it." Sasuke shook his head, unable to understand how Itachi could be so apathetic. Sasuke would hate to be anyone's servant, had hated taking Orochimaru's orders the entire time he was in Odo, even though Orochimaru was more powerful and experienced than Sasuke. Itachi was obeying someone younger and less experienced than he was, someone who could not defeat him in combat, unless something drastic had changed in the last few years. Naruto hasn't figured that out. "I know. He also thinks I resent being under his command. Just like you expected me to be embarrassed. You, at least, ought to have known better. You saw me on my knees earlier." Sasuke shrugged, irritation obvious. "Just because you don't show it doesn't mean you don't feel it," he muttered. "A fair point," Itachi admitted. "Fine. I will tell you what I have not yet told him, though only because we have not yet discussed it. Leader did not order me into Naruto's service. We discussed it before I left to retrieve him, and I agreed to be the one assigned. I am the best suited for the task, for a variety of reasons, and did not mind. Thanks for watching my video, see you next time, till then sayonara.